Good morning, Cougars. This is Mr. Martinez with the morning announcements. Good morning, Jake.
Good morning.
And it's Friday. Bentley's back. Good morning, Bentley.
Hey guys, good morning, Mr. Martinez. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. Jake, you ready for the flag salute?
Yeah.
All right, let's get Samantha's flag up there. There you go.
All right. Place right hand over your heart and begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you. Happy Friday, everybody. And happy Friday it is. It's a memorial, a 3-day weekend, no school on Monday. So enjoy the long 3-day weekend with your families. Also the conclusion of Teacher Staff Appreciation Week. Thank you to everybody who has been recognizing our teachers and our staff this week. Really wonderful. A shout out this morning to the boys and girls in room 32. I have received your messages, so I cannot thank you all enough for how kind you've been to me. So thank you, room 32, and thank you all of our classes, because I know that everybody's been doing a great job of showing your appreciation to your teachers and to our PFC staff, our enrichment teachers, all of our support staff. So thank you, everybody. It's Friday. Bentley's back. What do we do on Fridays, Jake?
Well, we usually have a special guest.
That's right. And so this week is our special guest is Mrs. Lay. She's in the waiting room. Let me bring her in now. Here she comes. Here comes Mrs. Lay. Oh, I see a D. Good morning. Good morning, Mrs. Lay. Can you hear us?
I think she's muted.
Let's see.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning, Mrs. Lay. Oh, look, Mrs. Lay.
Good morning, Bentley. Good morning, Jake. Good morning,
Good morning.
Good morning, Mrs. Lay. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. You are our special guest this Friday. Let me tell everybody that's watching this morning that for the past 21 years, Mrs. Lay has been a teacher at Carpenter. She's had an amazing career. She's probably in that span has worked between 450, 500 kids have come through her class and have received her love and her great instruction. She is a gem, and we are very sad, Mrs. Lay, to lose you to retirement, but we know that you've got your grandchildren, you have your husband, you have travel, you have great things that you want to do. So this morning, we are so happy to be able to salute you this morning.
Oh, thank you.
And I think before we start, I've got some pictures. So let me put up on the screen here, and I'll let you start. And you can talk to us about what we're seeing here. And let me move that over. Can you guys see the pictures on your screen?
Yeah.
All right. So Mrs. Lay, tell us about this first picture here.
Oh, so this is the picture of me in the first or second year teaching first grade, and you would wonder why I picked this picture. You see that I'm not posing nicely at all, but it's like as a teacher, you know that like we always like moving, squatting, talking. So, you know, this is I think that I was in room 14, and I was about like 42 years old. So I look so young in this picture.
Oh, absolutely.
So when I started.
And speaking of, let's roll it back a little bit, because I don't know that if, so wait, can I, wait a minute. My computer's not working. Wait a minute, let's go back. I lost my pictures. Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. So share screen. We're having some technical difficulties. So while I'm getting the pictures back up, Mrs. Lay, are you guys seeing that on your screen?
No.
No? Okay, so why don't we start by you telling everybody when you immigrated to the United States. Let's do that, and then I'm getting my picture straight.
Yes, I do that.
Okay, so in 1991, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I came to the United States in 1991.
And so here's a, can you see that on your screen now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so here's a picture of Vietnam, and tell us, coming from in 1991, what that was like.
Oh, so I came here in 1991, and you know, it's like the process like it took so long. I waited for 10 years to come, and it was like I came here with my husband and my daughter and my son. My son was like 9 years old, and my daughter was like 5 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
So
so,
we
and I think,
started fresh from the
and
beginning.
I think earlier you told me you were from the south of Vietnam, somewhere near Ho
Yes,
Chi
this
Minh.
is a Ho Chi Minh City right here, and I was like a Viet Dalat was my hometown is right here.
Okay, perfect. And so then you figure you come to the United States. I believe the story that I've heard is that you were much more comfortable writing in English than speaking in English, but yet you went to college, you got your teaching credential at Cal State Northridge. Is that right?
Yes, yes.
And was that 1998 that you finished your teaching credential?
Yes.
Somewhere in there, right? And so you go to school at Cal State Northridge, and then you're hired by the great Joan Marks at Carpenter.
Yes.
Huh?
She hired me.
And was that her last year at Carpenter?
Could you say it again?
Was that her last year at Carpenter when she hired you?
No. It's like after that, she retired a few years after that. After I moved to kindergarten, it's like at least 4 or 5 more years.
Okay, perfect. So Joan Marks was the great principal. If you think of the Chicago Bulls, she is the Michael Jordan of Carpenter. And you could see one of her gifts that she gave to Carpenter was Mrs. Lay. How about this picture here, Mrs. Lay?
So that picture is in 1914, and it's obviously that I was at the assembly. I don't remember what was happening there, but there must have been something fun, because you see that I was dancing right there. I looked very comfortable. I don't know, because like it looks like I was having a lot of fun, and I'm surprised like there is nobody around me.
You were the party, it looks like. And speaking of fun, let's
yes,
get this
my
worked
kinder
out.
team.
Here's your kinder team intact. You guys definitely have shown a lot of spirit over the years and done a lot of collaborating with each other. What will you remember? What will you remember most from your kindergarten team?
So we always like have fun, you know, the whole day, and we meet. I love it. We meet at lunch to eat, and then we celebrate each other's birthday, every time. And then look at this, we dress up alike for Halloween. There's always a theme, so we have so much fun with each other.
Absolutely. And here's the little surprise for you, Mrs. Lay. Thank you for 21 wonderful years of teaching at Carpenter. We salute you this morning. So thank you for sharing those pictures. I know that Bentley has got questions that he's pulled out of the virtual comment box. We'll let the guys take over with the interview.
Okay. Good morning, Mrs. Lay.
Good morning, Bentley.
Our first question is, what is the funniest thing a student has ever said to you, and what is the most wonderful thing you experienced in your class or favorite memory at Carpenter?
Oh, so once a student is said to me, Mrs. Lay, you are so young and beautiful. My students always think that I am young. I started teaching first grade when I was 42 years old. You know, a few days ago during a Zoom meeting, a few students asked me, how old am I? And I said to them that I am 63 years old. And all of them look at me, they said, wow, because the 63 is very old to them, you know, they are only 5 and 6 years old. Yeah.
Very good. So, kindergartners, you're always young for them.
And to answer the question that you asked me, you asked me is what is what is the second part of the?
Your favorite memory or most wonderful thing you experienced?
Oh, you know, it's on the first day of school, I was so nervous. I did not like remember anything, you know. But one thing I remember is like one of the parents stayed in the classroom my first day because her daughter cried. And then I think another reason because she wanted to watch me. But it's like after that, she went out and she talked to the other parents and she said, "Oh, Mrs. Lay is a good teacher." So she turned out to help me after that. So, and I appreciate it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Our second question is, why did you decide to become a teacher?
I went to Season and I started studying nursing, but after my mother-in-law had an open heart surgery, I thought probably I cannot work as a nurse. So it's too depressing for me. So I switched to liberal studies because I loved children and I love working with children. And teaching is my thing is a very rewarding career. I'm so passionate about teaching and I'm so glad that I decided to switch to liberal study to become a teacher now.
And so are we.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Good morning, Mrs. Lay. So the third question, they call you a book whisperer. What's your secret to teaching kids how to read?
Oh, parents call me a book whisperer because I think I try to make learning how to read fun. English is my third language. When I was in grade school, I had fun learning English. And the way I teach my students to read now is the way that I learn how to read in English. When I think that when you have fun, you learn, and no matter what it is.
Yes, definitely. Okay. Our fourth question is, do you have memories about your first day as a teacher and how has teaching changed?
Oh, so teaching, or the first part, I think that I just answered, how teaching changed to me. You know, it's like over the years, I learned a lot from the other teachers and from the students. So I became like a more confident and so as I teach, I learn, and then I have become a better teacher. Yeah, so I become more confident in my teaching.
Mm-hmm.
You certainly are a great teacher.
Oh, thank you.
Question 5 is, what are you going to do after you retire? Where's the first place you will travel for a relaxing retirement adventure? And where is the first place you visited that you've loved more than any other so far?
Yeah, so my plan in retirement is to spend more time with my family. Once we put this COVID-19 behind us, my husband and I will travel a lot with my brothers and sisters. We are planning to have a family reunion in Sydney, Australia. So far, I love Italy the most. I went to Rome, Florence, and Venice like 5 years ago. And I also love like beaches. So I think that I will go somewhere with beaches.
Okay.
Thank
Jack,
you.
I think that's you.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
So is it true that you make all of your own clothing?
Oh, yes. I made some of my clothing, mostly skirts and dresses, and I made clothes for my children when they were little. And I look forward to designing more clothes in my retirement.
I'm going to go out and say it. Best dressed teacher at Carpenter right there, Mrs.
Oh,
Best.
and by the way, the dress that I'm wearing today, I made it.
Wow.
This dress.
See that? Yeah, very nice.
Looks great. Okay. Our 7th and final question of the day is, as a young girl, did you have a favorite toy or stuffed animal?
Oh, as a young girl, I love to play with dolls and play pretend house. Yeah. Thank you, Bentley.
You're welcome.
Wow. So great job on the interview, guys. Mrs. Lay, I do have a surprise for you. I'm going to bring into our meeting now. Your 3 room parents are going to join us. So let's get them set up. This is Mrs. Giglieri, Mrs. Aroni, and Mrs. LeBeau. Let's see if we've got them popping up on the screen.
Hi,
Good
Mrs.
morning,
Lay.
Oh,
everybody.
hello. Mr. Martinez. Like you are very
Sorry.
like to
Listen,
invite them.
Mrs. Lay, everybody loves you. So I'm just representing the staff, but on the parents' behalf, we want your 3-room parents to say a few words to you as well. Ladies, I'll let you take it over from there.
Hi, Mrs. Lay.
Oh, hello, Rebecca.
I just wanted to share a memory that I have of you from our first day of school. And you welcomed us all in. Of course, we have kindergartners, so all the parents were a little nervous. It's our first big school experience. You had us all stand in a circle, and then you pointed to the children's desks, and the desks had pencil case with the children's name on them. And I'll never forget, you told the children, you said, I've been writing each of your names over the past several days, and I've been thinking about each one of you, and I can't wait to teach you and to know you. And immediately, I just felt a sense of peace, and it was apparent to me that you are a teacher. It was almost as if you had been meditating on each child's name, to make room to love each and every one of them, to take this new class into your heart. And that's the way that you teach. It's from your heart. And I appreciate you so much. And I know
Yes,
that
you do.
made
you,
a big
Rebecca.
difference in a lot of people's lives.
Thank you, Rebecca. It's like, I'm so glad that it was like the first impression that you remembered from me. And thank you for that.
Yes, absolutely.
Hi, Lucille.
And I think Tara was going to go next.
Yeah, Tara, you're muted.
Okay.
Oh, good morning, Tara. Good morning, Hollow. Oh.
You know, a kindergarten teacher is a very special person. They're like the first teacher, the first nurturer, first like mother or father away from home it has, you know. And I have amazing memories of my kindergarten teacher, and I know that all of the children you've taught have amazing memories of you as well. I never knew though how much a kindergarten teacher could affect my life as an adult. It's unnerving to leave your baby in such a big school like Carpenter, and with so many new kids and so many new people. But Harlow loves you. All of the children love you so much. And you didn't just make an impression on all of the children's lives that you've taught over the years, but all of the parents as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tara. Thank you, Harlow. Thank you, Tara. You know, it's like teaching kinder. You know, this is why I taught first grade for 3 years, and I went down to kinder, and I stayed in kinder for the last like 18 years. And I love this so much. And then, you know, each one of them, like I love them and take care of them and teach them just like my own children, just like my grandsons now, you know, I love them. Yes, but
And we love you for that.
I teach from my heart.
Yeah, that's so true, Mrs. Lay. I mean, I just wanted to say
Good morning again, and Anthony.
Hi, good morning.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, the kids just love you so much. They adore you. I mean, and right now they all miss you. I mean, at home we're hearing about how we miss Mrs. Lay's class. We miss the way that Mrs. Lay does stuff, and they really miss you. And we're so sad that we couldn't finish out the year from you. But you know, even now with the Zoom calls, like we look forward to the Zoom calls every single day. And I think that all of the kids do. So for you to have a group of kindergartners that are just so excited to hop on Zoom with you, you know, that's amazing. So thank you so much for that. You've made everybody feel comfortable with this transition, and you're doing such a wonderful job. And we just, we're going to miss you so much. You know, we're excited for your retirement, but we're really going to miss you.
Yes, and thank you. You know, I really feel the love, like from this remote, like a learning, we are far away, you know, physically, but every day I feel the love from the students and from the parents. And you see that, it's like I received this, like a cards here. I put it on my tree. My tree is growing a lot of love from all of you, parents and students, and I really appreciate that.
So Mrs. Lay, I promised you I would give you the final word. So if you wanted to wrap up this part before we do the words of wisdom, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Martinez. So I hope that you are all doing well. So I miss you so much. You know, this is not how I imagined my last year to end. And I hope that I will get a chance to celebrate with you in person one day. So my journey at Carpenter started 21 years ago with Mrs. Joan Marks. She hired me, and never in my life did I feel so good about myself and proud of my accomplishment that day that she hired me. I taught first grade for 3 years, and when I became a permanent teacher, I joined the wonderful K. On day one, Mrs. Christy Colbert made me feel welcome and comfortable teaching kinder, and I feel lucky and grateful to have joined the K team. Your support and help have made my teaching career possible and joyful. There are so many people I would like to thank at this school. I would like to thank all the teachers from all grade levels, the special ed teachers, the enrichment teachers, Coach Marty, Mr. Benson, Mr. Rivera, Mrs. Belatesh, Mrs. DeWill, Mrs. Marco, Mrs. Keller, and Ms. Ray for being such a professional and friendly teaching mate. Also, a big thank you to all the amazing TAs. Your hard work and dedication were always valued and appreciated. Carpenter has become my second home. I have been very lucky to have worked alongside all of you. You have been there through my happiest as well as saddest moments. I would like to say thank you to Mr. Wharton, Mr. Perez Kennedy, and Ms. Hong. Your amazing services have been making my work here at Carpenter much easier. Endless times you have come to my rescue, and I'm very grateful for that. Thank you to the wonderful ladies at the cafeteria, Fong and Cynthia, our amazing librarian, Ms. Nieves, the ladies at the office, Anna, Tony, Patricia, and Ripsime. You have taken good care of my students, and you have supported and helped me every time I have needed you. So many times you have saved my day. And I would like to say thank you to Freddie, Hester, and Edgar, who have been a hardworking and dedicated team. You have helped my students and me tremendously. And I have always known that I could come to you for everything. I would like to thank all the students in my 21 classes that I have had. You were wonderful students and teachers. You have taught me to become a dedicated, eager, and patient teacher. And Mr. Martinez, I would like to say thank you to you for being such a wonderful principal for me during the past 11 years. You are a wonderful principal that every single teacher would dream to have. You are very caring, supportive, and thoughtful. You emanated that positive energy that made me feel so relaxed and calm when things did not go my way. So thank you so much for all that you have done for me, and you have taught me during this 21 years. And take care, and I hope to see you soon. And my students, I love you so much, and I miss you. And I can't wait to that day that I can see all of you again at Carpenter. I will come and visit and say hi. Okay.
Bravo. Oh my gosh. I don't know if we're going to be able to get through the words of wisdom now, but bravo, Mrs. Lake. All right. So everybody have their notes for the words of wisdom?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. And now for the words of wisdom. Have you ever wondered if you are special? Well, wonder no more. Listen to these words from Pablo Casals. He's a Spanish composer and musician.
You must know that you are a miracle, that since the beginning of the world there hasn't been, and until the end of the world there will not be another child like you.
I'd say that makes you pretty special, wouldn't you?
Yes, yes.
Take a moment to think about the fact that you are the only person who ever was or ever will be exactly like you. Nobody will ever look exactly like you or think exactly like you. You are unrepeatable. Just being who you are is pretty awesome.
With something to think about, this is Mr. Martinez.
And Bentley.
And Jake.
Mrs. Lay.
And Mrs. Gillieri.
And Mrs. Aharonian.
And Mrs. LeBeau.
Make it a great day.
Or never.
The choice is yours. Mrs. Lay, thank you so much for being our special guest. Parents, thank you so much for joining us. Bentley, awesome job on the interview as always. Jake, you're the man. Everybody have a great Memorial weekend. Mrs. Lay, we love you. And I'll see you soon.
I love all of you. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you.